My day starts before the sun even wakes up. Not because I want it to, but because it has to. Rent's due next week. And this job, it's what keeps the lights on. Most of the time. I work at McDonald's. It's not the best job in the world. No shiny counters or smiling families, just a greasy spot tucked away in the city. My uniform smells like fryer oil no matter how many times I wash it, and the name tag is scratched from years of use. Every morning I clock in before the sun's even up, joining a crew of people who, like me, are just trying to get by. The place sits on the corner of 8th and Logan, wedged between a laundromat and a pawn shop. The neon sign flickers, sometimes buzzing so loud you can hear it from the sidewalk. It's the kind of spot you might walk past 100 times and never really notice, unless you're hungry or desperate for a job. There's nothing fancy about it, just a drive-through that always seems to have a line, a soda fountain that spits out more ice than cola, and a handful of regulars who know the menu by heart. Most mornings I'm the one handing out breakfast sandwiches and refilling cups, moving fast because the line never really ends. Sometimes, it feels like I'm invisible. People talk on their phones, scroll through their feeds, barely looking up as I hand them their food. I wipe down tables, pick up stray napkins, and try not to take it personally when someone snaps their fingers or sighs impatiently. It's just part of the job, I tell myself. But every now and then, someone says thank you, and it makes the whole morning feel a little lighter. But before I even get there, my day starts the same way it always does. My alarm goes off while it's still dark outside, echoing through my tiny apartment. I drag myself out of bed, rubbing sleep from my eyes, and try to remember what day it is. The walls are thin, and I can hear my neighbor's TV through the plaster. I move quietly, not wanting to wake anyone else. I head to the kitchen, where yesterday's coffee sits cold in the pot. I microwave it, even though it tastes burnt, because there's no time to make a fresh batch. Breakfast is a luxury I can't afford most days, so I settle for a few sips of bitter coffee, sitting alone at the table, staring at the chipped mug in my hands. It's not much, but it wakes me up enough to keep moving. My work shoes are waiting by the door, scuffed, worn, and held together with glue I bought at the dollar store. I've patched them up twice already, but they're still the only pair I have. I pull on my faded uniform, tucking in the shirt and hoping the stains aren't too obvious. I used to drive to work, back when I had a car and gas was cheap. But when gas prices hit $6 a gallon, I had to let the car go. I sold it to cover rent for a couple of months, and now I take the bus. It's slower, and the seats are always sticky, and sometimes the whole bus smells like old fries and wet coats. But it's what I can afford, and it gets me where I need to go. The bus pulls up, brakes squealing, and I climb aboard with the other early risers. Nurses, janitors, students, all of us half awake and clutching our bags. I swipe my worn transit card and find a seat by the window, watching the city wake up as we roll past. It's not glamorous, but it's my routine. And for now, it's enough to get me through another day. Every day starts the same way. The beep of the time clock, the smell of fryer oil already hanging in the air, and the familiar shuffle of sneakers on tile. I clock in, tie my apron, and brace myself for another shift. The hours ahead stretch out in front of me like a marathon I never signed up for. The shifts are long. Sometimes it feels like the clock is moving backward, not forward. 8 hours feels like 14 when you're on your feet the whole time. My legs ache before the lunch rush even starts, and by the end of the day, my back is screaming. There's no sitting down, no real break, just a few stolen minutes leaning against the counter, hoping the manager doesn't notice. The kitchen is always hot, the air thick with steam and the sizzle of burgers on the grill. Sometimes I catch my reflection in the stainless steel and barely recognize the tired eyes staring back. The customers don't make it any easier. People get mad if their nuggets take more than 90 seconds. They tap their feet, check their watches, and glare at me like I'm personally responsible for every delay. Some days it feels like everyone's in a hurry except for the clock. I try to smile to keep my voice cheerful, but it's hard when someone's yelling about cold fries or a missing sauce packet. I remind myself it's not personal, but after the 10th complaint, it starts to feel like it is. The manager gets mad if you breathe wrong. There's always something. An order rung up wrong, a spill on the floor, a drive-through time that's a few seconds too slow. The pressure never lets up. Sometimes I wonder if they remember what it's like to be on this side of the counter. Every mistake feels like a disaster, every sigh from the manager a reminder that I'm replaceable. But I keep my head down and try to stay out of trouble. I've memorized the register like it's a second language. My fingers fly over the buttons, punching in combos and custom orders without even thinking. I can ring up a family meal, swap out sides, and apply coupons all while making small talk with a customer. It's a weird kind of skill, but it makes the day go by a little faster. Sometimes I catch myself dreaming in beeps and button presses. Still, there's this guy Marcos who works nights. He's super funny. No matter how rough the shift gets, he's always got a joke or a story to lighten the mood. He can make the whole crew laugh, even when we're all running on empty. Sometimes, it feels like he's the only reason I make it through the late shift without losing my mind. Marco says he wants to start a food truck one day. He talks about it during our breaks, describing the menu he'd create, the places he'd park, the freedom of being his own boss. His eyes light up when he talks about it, and for a moment it's easy to believe we could both do something more than this. His dreams make the grind feel a little less endless. We joke about quitting every week. It's our running gag, how we'll walk out together, start our own place, or just never come back after our next shift. The laughter helps. It's a small rebellion against the monotony, a way to remind ourselves that we're more than just uniforms and name tags. In those moments, surrounded by friends who get it, the job doesn't seem so bad. But neither of us has yet. We finish our breaks, put our hats back on, and head out to the line. The work is hard, the hours are long, but for now, this is where we are. Maybe one day things will change. Until then, we keep showing up one shift at a time. Break time at work isn't exactly what most people imagine. There's no cozy lunchroom, no hot meal waiting. Lunch is whatever they let us take, and it's almost always cold by the time I get to it. Sometimes I just skip it altogether. It's not that I'm not hungry, but saving a few dollars here and there adds up, especially when you're counting every penny. Most days, I just find a quiet spot behind the restaurant, away from the noise and the rush, and try to enjoy a few minutes of peace. The food isn't great, but it's a moment to breathe, to be alone with my thoughts. While everyone else scrolls through their phones or chats about their plans for the weekend, I pull out my notebook. It's a little beat up, but it's where I keep all my ideas. I write down anything that comes to mind, business ideas, random thoughts, even sketches for things I might want to try someday. Lately, I've been thinking a lot about starting something of my own, maybe a YouTube channel or a small business. I know it sounds ambitious, but it helps to dream a little, even if it's just on paper. One idea I keep coming back to is a t-shirt brand. I sketch out designs, write down slogans, and imagine what it would be like to see someone wearing something I created. It's just things for now, ideas, doodles, half-formed plans, but it gives me something to look forward to, something that feels like it could be mine. Of course, there are days when I wonder if any of it will actually work out. The doubts creep in, especially when I see how hard it is just to get by. Sometimes I stare at the page, not sure if I'm just wasting time or if these ideas could ever become something real. It's easy to feel small when you're sitting behind a restaurant eating cold fries and dreaming big, but even with all the uncertainty, I find myself smiling sometimes. Just thinking about the possibilities, about what could be, makes the day a little brighter. It's like a secret I carry with me, a hope that maybe, just maybe, things could change if I keep trying. These breaks might be short and the food might be cold, but letting my mind wander and dream makes the time go faster. It turns a simple lunch break into something more, a chance to imagine a different future, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. My shift ends when the sky is orange, same bus home, same aches in my legs, but I made it. One more day done, one less to worry about, that's the saying. At home, I crash. Some days I'm too tired to eat, other days I binge motivational videos and pretend I'm already successful. Crazy, right? But sometimes it helps. I know this isn't forever. I've got plans, not fancy ones, just enough to get out, maybe start that shirt brand, or a vending machine business, something small, but mine. Until then, I wake up, clock in, and keep dreaming in between orders. I'm not lazy, I'm not unmotivated, I'm just broke, but I'm trying, and maybe that's enough for now. To anyone out there just trying to get by, I see you. You're not alone.